Hello, 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 and welcome to the season finale of season 4 of the FRL Racing League. A potential send-off to F123 and a potential send-off to the Circuit Paul Ricard. This was originally meant to be Portugal, but that race got canceled, and we appended a French Grand Prix at the end of the season because this track is not in F124 at the present moment. So this could very well be our last tour around the Circuit Paul Ricard. Nice and flat, nice and long. Our championships have already been decided as of 2 rounds ago in Australia, but there's still a few positions up for grabs in some spots on the drivers and constructors standings. There's a fight between Aston Martin and Sauber to not be last right now, which Aston Martin are leading. There's a fight between McLaren and Ferrari ongoing. And we also have the potential final race in FRL, at least for now, of Zed the Kobold, McLaren driver, who is going over to do more endurance racing. They're going to be doing the Spa 24 after this in iRacing. I am Nexi. I'm joined here by Sira and Prides.
Hello there.
We are getting the qualifying underway now.
Now, the one thing with Paul Ricard is that the long run onto the back straight is going to be really crucial, and it's very difficult to get that right. You can run off and ruin your lap, or you can get a massive snap of oversteer and lose 5 tenths to a whole second. We see if any of the drivers do end up spinning out there, as I reckon it will probably be there or nearer the end, where we've seen countless drivers crash onto the long right-hander.
Yeah, we do have that famous, infamous right-hander that defines Sector 3 in a lot of ways. Sector 1 being a very tight technical section as well. And we have Avo going out right now. Everybody else is taking their time a little bit, but Avo going to be the first one to potentially set a lap time.
Now, with this track, a two-stop is very, very possible, and in some instances it is faster. So you might see a lot of drivers opting to keep a set of softs for a potential two-stop. Maybe even 2 sets of softs if they think they would rather have 2 soft stints in the race.
Yeah. Could also help. Safety cars are a little rarer here. You do have a lot of runoff to play with if you make a mistake, bottom out on one of the heavy curbs. So it's a track that can be forgiving, but there are some corners where really you're gonna have fun if you take them wrong.
Is also a track that can lend itself to moves that aren't exactly orthodox and can lead to some hefty collisions between drivers as well.
Indeed. Avo is having that battery charge up. We are going to see him off in a second.
Of course, Zed, unfortunately, even on their last Grand Prix, has to serve the quali ban.
Indeed. And here we go. Avo has begun his flying lap. Going through this tight Sector 1.
Using up all the track width he can on the exit of the first chicane.
Here he goes. Brakes right after the 50 board. And rolls the car in, getting almost max lock there. Maybe even a little too much steering lock on that. We'll see. As he now goes down that main straight on the back there. We're going to have a couple other drivers starting their flying laps. Tyes and John, as well as Laz, going to be beginning his Evo now goes through the chicane at the end of Sector 2. Going to be beginning Sector 3.
This is a fairly clean chicane.
Yep, 51.
Another one where you can really get track limit violations a lot there. There's quite a few actually, because the curbs here do invite you to try to cut as much as you can.
Indeed they do. Taking that turn, a lot of feathering on the throttle. That's the key to it. And extending out, holding. Goes, compromise the exit to get a good entry into the last turn. Oh! Little deep.
I don't think that would invalidate, but that would definitely cost him a few tenths there.
Yep, 132.7 is the pace being set. John will be the next one to come across, followed by Ties and then Laz, and then we'll have a McLaren starting the out, going through the outlap. That's Overgone. And then Lenny's also on an outlap, and we have Glazzy in the Haas also out. Actually on a flying lap right now.
His lap has been invalidated though.
Oof. Probably going to use this as a charge lap. Here comes John now. He gets that last turn. A lot better. And that's a 136.
That's 2 seconds faster than Avo. Ty's kind of run after with a 131.4. Laz with a 131.6. So perhaps Avo, perhaps that last turn really did cost Avo a lot more time than it really looked.
Yeah, he was really kind of bogged down, and like if you, with that kind of a turn, if you're not on the power at the apex, your whole run down the straight is compromised. You can easily lose almost a second in that kind of a turn. And the key thing there too is that the start-finish line isn't right after that turn, it's about halfway down the straight. So bad exit there will hurt all the way down.
All the way to the run to the line, which is there's a lot of that here, with a lot of those sorts of in very important traction zones coming right into a huge long straight, which will determine who can really get the most out of their traction for this.
Yeah. Indeed, Glazzy is in the pits after invalidating, just didn't have enough fuel to go around another run. Morgan setting up potentially purple time here.
Yeah, I see 2 purple sectors so far from Morgan, from Sector 1 and Sector 2.
Yeah, Morgan's going to be doing fairly well to make that happen. Now round and around here, going through this high-speed chicane.
McLaren do really need to have a good, strong race here, as they need to hold off Ferrari in the constructors. Mateus is here. He will be itching for a win here.
Yeah, he has not won yet. Drew has also not won yet. He tried to appeal in the Australian win, and that's a 130.2 for Magan. Yes, he tried to appeal that Australian win, and that was denied.
See Lenny's coming through the last corner now. This will be the first of the main front runners. Let's see what the front running benchmark is.
We'll see. 129.6. Leo in the practice was talking about him expecting the pole time to be a 129 flat. If that holds up, then Lenny's 6 tenths off of that right now.
But this is also a track where you don't want to be too aggressive on your first bank collapse. You want to at least have 1 lap out there. You don't want to invalidate every single lap you go on for.
Yeah, and it could be very easy to get that. So 129.6, a fairly safe lap. It's going to get a good chance at getting on the front row if stuff does go wrong for the other drivers. Bluey is another driver that has actually yet to set a time, which is odd.
Unlike him.
Yeah.
We do see Leo coming out of Sector 2 now, going into Sector 3.
Indeed. That is his flying lap. Here he goes through the turn that I'm sure many will recognize.
I don't think he is on a flying lap. I think he's doing a secondary preparation lap here.
Ah.
Yeah, he seems to be warming the tires up.
Yeah. I'm getting a couple screen jitters on my end watching Leah.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same here. He's clearly just taking in everything he can.
Yeah. Mercedes apparently have brought one last upgrade to the season, and it is teleportation.
Well, somebody had to use it, I guess.
Exactly, as here we goes onto his flying lap now. Cutting across the technical sector 1. Little bit of teleportation to make it good, and that is 2 seconds above whatever that banker lap was, a 1:42.7. So those comparisons aren't going to really be accurate comparisons, but still cool to see.
Then he's Sector 2 being a 27.8. See what Leo's is here coming through.
Only 49.7.
49.7.
And he's
He's
going to
actually
go around.
1/10. He's currently 1/10 up on Lenny's time.
Yeah, going around here. Not quite using all that exit curb, so also taking a similar approach to Lenny.
The field as tight as it is, one mistake.
Speed.
One mistake and the pressure's on, and once the pressure's on, you kind of got to be really careful with everything that you do.
Yep, and there he goes. He makes that last turn look so easy, and he's going to cross the line with a 1:29.3.
It's another really strong time there.
Yep, and that's going to set our pole benchmark. Lenny is out again.
Perhaps
We have a
not
couple
happy
of
with the first lap.
Indeed. We have Drew also coming out on an out lap, uncharacteristically early for him.
Looks like Mateus was on a fast lap, but it looks like it got invalidated. I'd imagine that would be turn 4. That turn 4, you've seen a lot of drivers. Turn 5 or 6. It could.
Got it. Here comes Glazzy now. Sparkle Dog approaching the very fast right-hander, getting missing the second apex on the exit there.
Although you don't typically need to hit the second apex on that as aggressively as you normally would on a normal thing. When I was driving, I would always run the second apex a lot wider to carry more speed along. It's a very typical line you can take as well. So you make the last corner fairly simply as well, actually. The run down to the line. What will he set here?
It's a 1:31.4.
That's definitely not what Drew would have. Definitely not what him or Drew or the entire Haas garage really would have hoped here. Would hope that he would be able to continue the streak after finishing on track in second place.
Yep, and this is Mateus going back into the pits. Louis still has not gone out. With only 5 minutes 45 seconds to go in the quali session, there's going to be some pressure to get out there now for some of these guys. Lap. And we have Drew starting his flying lap. So we're going to have 2 of the front runners. Oh. What?
Lenny's time has been invalidated on that lap. Yep, I saw it.
Huh. I appear to be... Oh my god, I got like 20 invites. Guys!
Alright, it looks like, even Drew as well also invalidated. I believe that was also on the turn 3, 4, 5, 6 section. A lot of drivers do end up cutting too much out of that corner.
Mateus and Drew just not really... they seem to be struggling with the quali session here. Oh my gosh.
The track limits are brutal, to say the least, on this track. One of the if you thought Canada was going to be brutal on track limits, I reckon there'd be a lot here just purely on those 2 sections alone, on how much it's just quicker to cut as much as you can.
Mm-hmm. It is absolutely quicker. You gotta just find that right balance, and our top 2, Leo and Lenny, have been managing to find that balance.
But there's still a lot on the table here, a lot on the cards. The predicted one was a 129 flat. Lenny's 6 tenths behind, and Leo even himself is 3 tenths off.
Yeah.
Expect the last dash to be a lot quicker, and is Drew gonna do? Yeah, Drew's gonna go on to a second attempt at a fast lap here.
Indeed. Yep, there he goes.
I think this will actually be his only lap. I don't think he'll be able to get back around and get another lap out in. So this will be his one and only lap.
Yep, Avo is up by 2 tenths. He'll be the first one of this gaggle of cars to cross and set a new time. Kimaru, AT Wolf there, is going to be finishing up his outlap here. Mateus has started a new outlap. But here comes Avo. He's 6 tenths up.
And he does have that mistake at the very end that is going to give him a lot of free time in general.
Indeed it is. It's a little close there. But runs on down. It's a very early apex. Gonna let him go through that exit there. Now he's gonna wind through this last chicane. He brakes nice and hard, nice and early. And he gets through it. This is going to be a strong lap from the British Bird, and it is a 131.7. Not quite enough.
Drew goes into the pits.
Oh.
Is he gonna have time? I don't think he's gonna have time, you know?
No, but we gotta watch him.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna have time. He's not gonna have time to finish this, do a lap.
Yeah. He's in the exact same situation that he was in Brazil. We'll see how he responds to that.
Watch Mateus now as he's now in the same situation. He can't afford any mistakes here. He has 1 lap, and he can't invalidate it. He'll have to play safe, or risk starting from the back of the grid.
Avo letting Morgan by.
Mateus has a purple Sector 1. He is faster than anybody in Sector 1.
Very strong showing from Mateus. Crossing the line is Kimaru, who is going to be setting up his next time. It's a 130.3. That puts him up into the 2nd row if that holds. John gonna be coming around onto the start-finish straight now. He's one of the next drivers to go. Drew is trying to get around.
I don't think he's going to get around. He has 40
improved
seconds to make the lap. He's not going to make it.
Morgan has improved to a 130.1. Laz is on an out lap. We're going to have Leo coming across the line here as well, and it's at Drew. Hold on. Yep, that is Drew in the escape road. He's got to know it's over now.
But Mateus comes in with a 129 flat. That's exactly what Leo thought the pole time was going to be. Mateus sets it off. He had a toe down the back straight from the Red Bull. He had a toe down the front straight from the Mercedes. Absolutely dialed it in. He had 1 chance and he nailed it to perfection.
Yep, that's Mateus doing really well. We'll see if our other front runners have anything to respond. I think the first one to cross the line will be Lenny. No, it won't. It'll be...
It will be Leo. I do see Lenny does have a purple Sector 1, though. He's going faster than Mateus was.
Leo's invalidated.
Leo's
Leo
invalidated.
was invalidated, so 129.3 is his last time. Letty is also invalidated, so he is going to be ending the session on a 129.6.
And then this means that Mateus is going to get pole position on the last Grand Prix.
Yes. Mateus with pole position. Is very strong. Blasi with a 130.1 there, setting a strong time over Morgan. That demotes her to the third row. And it looks like our grid has been set. Bluey did not even go out.
Maybe the Williams wanted to save the mileage on that car, make sure they have all the tyres available for the race. Drew having so many invalidated times. That's going to hurt. That's going to really hurt. This is a track where overtaking, it is possible, but it's only possible down the back straight.
Yeah, and I think Drew was itching for a lot, but just tried to go out again. Wasn't able to find it. Hey, it's going to be the last one to come across and come home. Our man on pole is Mateus.
This is his first pole. Yeah, I think that's his first pole position. What a way to end the season by getting your first pole.
Yeah, we'll see if he can convert it to his first race win.
That would be some sight to see, wouldn't it? That'll definitely be exactly what Ferrari needs as well to beat McLaren in the championship. They are 17 points down, but a win from Mateus at 25 points. Maybe all they need if Morgan and Zed aren't able to secure it themselves.
Yep, 129 flat is your pole time. It was exactly as was predicted as the session started up. 129.3 is your runner-up. 2 late invalidations. And a very late but very strong lap from Mateus secures the Ferrari team, the Scarlet Ferraris, their first pole position of the year. And it is a well-earned pole position.
I want to see how many drivers, though. I saw a lot of drivers doing a lot of laps here. Maybe they're thinking of that a one-stop will be faster.
Maybe.
I'm honestly not sure whether or not it will be here, as the pit stop. It's a slow pit lane, but you do cut off the entirety of the last corner. It's not that time consuming as people think it is.
Yes, and I think isn't tire wear also a here on this track too? Yeah, pretty.
Yes.
This is one of the higher degradation circuits. That first sector putting a lot of pressure on your tires, and the third sector too, very fast sweeping turns. Really gonna work that front right.
Yeah, I imagine there'll be a lot of issues with tyre wear coming near the end of the first stint. If people do try a one-stop, their tyres are going to be absolutely chewed to bits coming to the end of it.
Yeah. Also, you still have the possibility of a safety car throwing a spanner into the works, regardless of people picking a one-stop or a two-stop. An early enough stop that solidifies you in one direction or the other.
The great neutralizer of the safety car. You never really know when it will come out, and you never know who's going to benefit from it. It could come lap 1. It could come any lap, really.
Yeah, well timed as a safety car, and the two stoppers just effectively only do one stop on their green flag running, and they have a much bigger tire advantage than you do. And suddenly your one-stop strategy fails.
This is also one track where you cannot pit on the first lap to do the entire race on hards either. So even if there is a lap 1 safety car, you should not expect people to come in for hards, because they are not going to make it to the end of the race. If they do, they're going to be insanely slow come the end of it.
Yeah, I've seen these drivers try it though. They they like trying really out there strategies.
Yeah, I mean, what is racing about risking everything on one strategy?
Yeah, you would always wear some higher down to 70%.
Sometimes even worse.
Here we go, lining up at the front row. It's Mateus with his first pole position of the year, followed by the sole Mercedes of the race of Leo there. Our lead Red Bull and lead driver on the second row is Lenny, followed by Glazzy, the lead Haas in the French Grand Prix. Third row has McLaren and AlphaTauri, Morgan leading Kimaru. Our second Red Bull gets away on the fourth row. It's John and our Sauber, our sole Sauber driver of Azarus in P8. Fifth row and left, and the rest of the points are ties in the Williams and the sole Aston Martin today. Our second Haas, and having too many invalidations, a very hard, disappointing qualifying session is Drew, and that has, and then it is Louis in the Williams in P12. Zed had a quali van, they're lining up P13, and we have a second Ferrari, apparently.
I don't think that one's meant to be there.
No. It appears that Corvix has stolen Sparrow's Ferrari from way back. The Ferrari team keeping that car around. And Avo's stopped? He was stopped for a second. Let's take a look at the tire strategies going on. Oh, we got a mix of tires. Mateus lining up on the softs. And we have Leo and Lenny on the mediums, Glazzy on the hards. I don't really like that call there.
No, with how much of a run to the line it is, I can expect Glazzy to get overtaken by Morgan, and then even AlphaTauri Wolf and even John might put a run to him. But if you can hold it out, I think Mateus has done a really, really bold strategy here, hoping that there isn't a lap on safety car, and hoping that with his pressure on the softs, he might be able to get away from Leo and Lenny, who will still have a lot of pride on the line to fight here. These two are bitter rivals from past 2-3 seasons, really, at this point. They've been always fighting tooth and nail.
Yep.
If it's for first or for second, I imagine they still fight the same way.
Yep, it's 3 championships between the two of them on these front 2 spots.
So going down, I see Bluey's also in the softs, hoping to make some gains early on, and Drew being on the hard is a much better strategy.
Yeah.
Trying to burn off all your rubber, trying to get by near the front is not going to be good. Keeping them on the hards and just trying to get it with pure pace will be the better option.
Yeah, Drew just betting that he is faster here as we're going to be moments away from lights out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. FRL is away in front, and Mateus gets the launch he needs. Leo, though, is starting to burn some battery. He's going to put his car alongside here. As there they go. Zed's out of the session right now, and Leo takes the lead through turn 1. Mateus not even fighting as hard as he can there. He's going to put it on behind.
I see, Glazzy did not have a great start, going down to 6th position from on those hard tires. John moving up to 5th, and Drew all the way up to 8th already. Yeah,
I think you kind of read that one there. The hard tire's not really getting away from Glazzy in these. Oh, John's out. John is out. Yellow flags are out. Mateus is going right onto the rear wing of Leo here. They are about 2 tenths now, and I have a feeling it's a restart. Yep, it's a restart. After these messages, we'll be right back. Oh dear.
It's happened again.
Oh, apparently an old bug apparently came up. Do you remember from 22 when sometimes if you missed your grid spot, he would take it over on the race?
Oh, it would disqualify you from the beginning of the race. I remember we
Yeah.
had to restart Hungary so many times because of that.
Yeah, I think that bug has snuck its little head back into FRL, at least if Zed is to be believed.
What a great send-off. All the bugs that we've received are coming back to haunt us all.
Yeah, and I think Glazzy also had a setup issue. He was on a default setup, so that might have explained the tough getaway there.
But the getaway, the setup should be the same that he had in quali. So if they set that good a quali time on a default setup, who knows what he would actually be?
Right. Indeed. Yeah. Drew. Both Drew and Glazzy aiming for a quality restart.
I don't think we're gonna get that
No.
far for this.
Short answer, no. Long
The long
answer, no.
is no. Perhaps with this, some other teams might have a better way of,
Yeah.
better idea of what strategies to take a hold of.
Indeed, couple of the drivers. I don't think you're going to see Glazzy picking hard tires again.
I would not recommend it. We saw it here. It was bound to happen. I was surprised. I was surprised that he went for it. Drew has every right to try out the hard tires. He needs to do something.
Yep. So we are going to be moments away from redoing the grid. Apparently. I am wondering what happened to Bluey in that qualifying session.
All I can really think of is maybe that Williams team didn't. Maybe there was a issue for him during that as well. Yeah, maybe cost him the chance to do it.
Yeah. Maybe the Protogen had a memory leak. Okay. I have no idea what is going on. Um. Hmm. Oh, there we go. Alright, we are going to be moments away from redoing the French Grand Prix start. Circuit Paul Ricard, a fun little circuit.
And as of now, the last time the circuit's going to be available to even be raced in FRL.
Yeah. Built in 1969 in Le Castellet. Named after Paul Ricard, who just really wanted to build a racetrack.
Honestly, I can't blame him. Who wouldn't want to build a racetrack?
I know.
Although you think he would have picked a better location with more elevation than this.
Yep. Mr. Ricard apparently invented the pastis brand. Or was a pastis guy. Pastis being a spirit with a 40 to 45% alcohol content. French pasty. Liu.
As far as I know, this is somewhere near your vineyard.
Yeah, and
Well,
this
you
is
you can't go that far. Well, you can't go that far in France without being near a vineyard, really.
Yeah, no. There's so many of them. But apparently this was, in the most French way possible, built by alcohol. Alcohol money.
Even if there's a local alcohol ban. Branding.
Well,
You
you know what they
could
say. If you ban something, it's only people going to want it more.
Also know the flat elevation makes the circuit great for testing.
Yeah. Well, unless you want to see how your car tests with elevation. It has 5 grade 1 layouts and 2 grade 2 layouts, apparently. And is also home to the 4 Hours of Castellet, the European Le Mans series. It is also played host to the 2022 motorsport game. Not to be confused with some shitty game company. The next motorsport games are set to happen at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Spain.
Down in Valencia.
Yep.
A track with very similar characteristics to this one, actually.
Maybe that's why it's hosting the motorsport games after this track. .842 kilometers and 15 turns. Apparently, Nick DeVries has the track record without the Mistral chicane in that layout.
And the super old layout where you would just the long backstrake is even longer. I feel like we're better off with that chicane here in FRL, or else, well, you thought the kennel straight in Spa was long.
I do just find it kind of funny how Nick DeVries is a record holder. It is LMP2.
Not everyone has what it takes to be good in Formula One. They might be good at one different type of car, and might be bad in the other. Some drivers excelling karts then have awful single-seater careers. Some even vice versa. We might hear back in one season that Zed's become the endurance champion with their team.
Who knows? I do think Zed is a much better sport car driver than they are in the open wheel variety. Whereas I'm not. I like these open wheelers. That doesn't mean I'm very good at them, but I do prefer them.
And I just like anything that can go fast. Anything that can go fast, that can race.
Yeah. So, if there were if there was a cardboard box Grand Prix, would you run the cardboard box Grand Prix?
Oh, certainly.
All right, let's see the tires. Yep, as expected. Glazzy's now on the medium tire. Drew is the only one not on the medium tire, actually. He has gone for hards.
Yes, Mateus has also chosen to go onto the medium tires, maybe knowing that that start isn't going to be as good for him. Can Leo get a good launch again on the second time of asking?
Yeah, we'll see what they're able to do. Glazzy here in 4th, Morgan in 5th. Kimaru 6th, Drown 7th, Laz 8th, Ties 9th, Evo 10th, Drew 11th, Louis 12th, and Zed 13th. It looks like Ferrari have gotten their car back from the stewards. Important work being done there by the Ferrari garage in securing their second car from thieving dragons.
It's either that or they've forgotten to release him onto the track. That could also happen, knowing Ferrari these days.
Yeah. Maybe there is just an angry dragon in the car because they forgot to put gas in it. And also took the key and burnt it.
Do F1 cars have keys? I don't remember ever having a key.
No, they don't have keys. I think part of the ignition system is in the steering wheel itself and everything. And there's like a switch.
Alpine never gave me a key.
Yeah, maybe Ferrari put a key ignition into their cars just so they could lose the key. Or maybe, I don't know, Andrea Moda put keys in their cars in the 90s. Would have surprised me.
I'm sure they put a key everywhere but the cars.
Pretty much. Mateus now lining up on the grid. Leo lining up alongside. Then it's Lenny. Glazzy there. We can see Morgan wiggling into their grid box. Kimaru John. Lazarus getting disqualified. Same with John. They both missed their grid box. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we're once again away in front. And we'll see right now, we got a lot of 2x2 action. A couple of the drivers on the outside line getting a little bit stalled in. But Mateus now actually has the lead through this turn. Leo not as good of a launch.
Turn 1.
That is a That is a Red Bull that has gone wide. Avo is down to 12th as Bluey goes up to 11th, Zed up to 10th. Drew is back into 8th position. Right now, and Ties is fighting Zed, who has gotten into the points after the quali ban. Having a fantastic start, but Leo's through. Leo and Mateus are side by side going down to that chicane that we were just talking about. Here comes Lenny! They are about to go 3 wide. No, it's going to be 2 wide in the battle for second here.
And all of a sudden, bring Morgan into it as well. Can she steal the spotlight from the show?
Here they all go.
Glazzy again on turn 1. Morgan getting 2 perfect launches in a row.
Yep, that's Zed in the back there. Zed appears to have gone wide or spun. I don't think there's any damage to their car. No, there isn't any damage to their car. It appears to have just been a moment. But Zed now about 5 seconds back of Avo, who had not the best launch off of the grid. Ties and John are fighting for 10th position back there. But we are seeing
really squeezing him almost off the track, giving him the perfect. I think as John tries to push his way past Bluey into the last corner. You don't overtake there now. John just said, no, I definitely overtake there.
Yep, Bluey not the most brave on the throttle as well. So, I think a little late on the throttle, just not able to get that traction down.
Look at how close Leo is now to Mateus. Lenny even closer to Leo now with that.
Yeah, I think Mateus' saving grace here is that Leo is also in this picture right now. It means that, he can back up, he can force Leo to maybe play into his mirrors, or maybe pressure into a move that could be happening here. They're going to be side by side. But Mateus compromises his line there, and is a little slow on the
second
power.
Part of the chicane. I think I saw a bit of a touch. Was there any damage in there?
Yeah, I don't think there was any damage. I think it was just a little nibble of wing on wing right now.
I do not see any damage, but Leo is still
God.
Is he going to make a move there? Oh my gosh, if
he is not. Oh, they're side by side now. Leo with the inside, but Mateus has some traction on the outside there. That long right-hander. I think there was even a little bit more contact. He's pushing wide. There's some more contact. Leo's holding the inside as we're now going through the final 2 turns. Zed is lagged out of the session, but that's okay because we got Mateus here. Getting onto the power as we go now into the 3rd lap, and there's a car in the pits. It's Morgan.
Did Morgan actually get any damage in that fight? And Alpha Tyrwell's got the fastest lap of the race. He's in this fight now. He's gotten past Glazzy. Glazzy's been rather slow so far.
Yeah, Morgan does have wing damage.
But to get overtaken by his teammate Drew.
I apologize. But yes. Ooh. So, yes, we have Kimaru now in the picture with the fastest lap here.
And don't forget Drew, he's only just over a second behind, but if these front lots continue to fight, he'll be in the picture, and he's got those hard tyres. He'll have the advantage on tyres on the second half of this race.
He will indeed, especially if it's a one-stop race. He got basically everything he needed to get done. He is out of the DRS range of Kimaru. But Kimaru also does tend to go for the really long stint. And as this stint goes on, the track and the tires will come to Drew.
Well, here comes Leo and Lenny. Are they going to go 3 wide there?
Oh, no, not quite. But Leo is through on the inside of the long right-hander.
The double move.
Ferrari dreams have been broken there once again.
Can Leo now start to pull away? Can Lenny also go by? Lenny will see Leo getting by and want to get by as quickly as possible. Mateus does run a bit wide. That might compromise his line as Glazzy comes into the pits.
So it is Mateus, Lenny, and Kimaru all with DRS. Leo gets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far, but look at Mateus. He put almost 4 tires off on the outside there, trying to extend the track as much as he can. Lenny's falling behind to Mateus here. He might have to start looking behind him right now.
Well, Mateus does make a little bit of a wobble over the curbs. These curbs can really chop your car about. And there's a yellow flag in sector 1.
It's for the Aston Martin of Avo. That is going to let Zed get back into this picture right now. Here they go.
Avo needs to get as good of a position as he can with
Oh, we
in
say
6th
that.
place.
We say that Zed has lagged out of the session once again. F123 really giving us the goodbye. Lap 4 of 27 is the lap we are on now. Leo's going to be entering Sector 3. About 2 tenths, not even. Mateus might be looking to get revenge. Not quite going to be close enough to make it happen there. But Leo is now leading Mateus, leading Lenny, leading Yukimaru, who is well within this fight. But Drew has gotten now within a second. Drew is about there. He was for a brief moment anyway. I think the hard tire loses out on the traction battle there. Drew's going to be really tight on the DRS margin.
Does he get it?
He doesn't. He does not have DRS.
He might do next lap, especially if Mateus continues to hound Leo the way he is on these straights.
Yeah, and I don't see Mateus backing away anytime soon here.
No, Mateus and Ferrari are fighting for that 5th place in the Constructors, and a win would seal it, especially with both McLarens currently out of the points.
Yeah, Zed having issues on their end, Morgan having issues on their end, Glazzy is on new tires. But I think McLaren are currently in a bit of a code red position here.
Here comes Lenny down the inside of Mateus. Oh!
No, he's
disconnected.
It appears that we are having the fun zone of disconnects. But Kimaru now is going to be able to slip on by. Let me get Lenny back in here.
This does let Kimaru and Drew by, and does also now bring a gap between Mateus and AlphaTauri Wolf. Oh! It's been a spin.
Ooh, there's yellow flags in the back. That's between Glazzy and Morgan, I think.
I think it was Zed. I think Zed spun it. They spun it on the thing, in the chicane.
Yep, so Glazzy now in P11, and that puts Avo back into the points. All of this is putting Avo back into the points.
Mateus is trying his best to hold on here. Oh!
Yeah, he's got to do his
Drew
best.
down the
Drew is
inside.
through. Ooh!
Can
Drew
he
now in the podium positions over Kimaru on those hard tires. He's making them work.
He's really making them work. And as Mateus is slowly dropping away from Leo, he may be in trouble next.
Yep, Lenny down to the P5 after the issues. But currently, it's a Williams double point solidifying back in the back there. And this would be like one of the first times that Bluey would get points on track.
It looks like Mateus is currently out of... Did not get DRS down that back straight. This will be Drew's time to really put on the afterburners here. Does he even have anything left? Did he burn everything through trying to get up to here?
We'll have to see here. But once again, as this race develops, these tires are going to come to Drew. Especially in the pit phase. And then once he himself pits, he's going to have the tire advantage. Even in a one-stop race, currently Drew has the cards in his hand right now. He got exactly the start of this race he needed. He's not really made mistakes. In fact, there really haven't been any track limit warnings yet, which has surprised me.
There's been a few. Nobody's had more than one so far, though. Although Mateus has already gotten 2 of them, so that may be why he's starting to drop back a little bit. He may be playing a bit more cautiously on that, as Drew is starting to lose time to them. Maybe it's because he's fighting with AlphaTauri Wolf. But AlphaTauri Wolf has come into this saying that he will fight for every position he gets here. He's not really in any championship fights. He's doing this for pure glory here, and he'll want to try to stick it to Drew.
Yeah, I don't think he's had a podium yet. He's gonna want that. That's really what he's fighting for here. Oh, here he comes to the inside. Kimaru looking to fight Drew. He's got some pressure on him. They're side by side. They're fighting hard. Kimaru was off the track a little bit there, but they're still going to be side by side. This puts Lenny in. There they go, almost 3 wide into this section. And there was a little bit of contact. Kimaru's gone very wide, and Drew is now past him again. But they're side by side again.
He's gonna switch back into there. He's gonna push him out wide, and he's gonna keep the position.
I don't think I've seen a switchback there yet. That's amazing racecraft going on here. But this puts Lenny up at the P3 right now. Kimaru is gonna have the DRS as we go through. That's good for him. Mateus also maintaining DRS to Leo. Is your update up there. We also have Glazzy up at the P11 over Morgan right now.
John and Laz fighting for P6 and P7 at the moment. Currently, this would actually lift Alfa Romeo from the bottom of the constructors and demote Aston Martin down there now, even with Avo's sole point in 10th place.
Yep, Aston Martin have had a rough season compared to what they've had before, but they're doing very well right now. Sauber have had an even rougher season, really, as Galazzi and Morgan continue to fight out of the points here. We're going down the back straight now. This is going to be another chance. Kimaru looks defensive, but goes back to the racing line. Drew trying to push to the outside.
Drew is all over the back of him, even in the DRS train.
Yep, and they're not really compromising their gap to Lenny. Mateus has gotten back within 3/10 of Leo. It's gonna be
it seems like whatever
closer.
Issues Mateus has had, he has sorted them out, and he is ready to put the hammer back onto Leo here, as he's right behind him.
Yeah, maybe he was charging up his battery a little bit for those few laps. And this is the kind of situation now, as we're developing, where I think this doesn't really enter Drew's advantage anymore.
Oh, that's oversteer snap. I thought he was heading for a one-way trip to the wall right there.
Yeah, managing to save it. Glazzy has gotten within Avo.
This is where Drew's tire advantage may really not come into effect here, as they are stuck behind Lenny. Both of them are stuck behind Lenny. He can't really get past AlphaTauri Wolf without compromising a huge amount of time. And Lenny keeping his gap within 2.5, 2.6 seconds, keeping the exact same speed as Leo.
We got some fighting for the final points position as Glazzy has pulled to the inside of Avo. He has the fresher hards. Avo not really able to do much. Glazzy's through in the P10. And here comes Morgan, too. All over the back of the bird. Seeing those tail feathers right now. As Morgan gets to the outside here. Now he's going to have the inside as they round about. And Avo has to back out. And that's him down in the P12. We got some fighting up front, though.
They were right side by side. Oh, there's been an incident.
That's Kimaru. It's Kimaru. Kimaru was teleported to the track. He returned the track. And I think there was some evasive action from the Red Bull there. And returning the track like that is a penalty. Is a potential penalty coming Kimaru's way.
We'll have to see. He did look like he was struggling heavily to get the car back going again. Do I see any damage on that car? I don't really see anything. I think the rear wing might be partially damaged, which is going to heavily impact him if... Let's see how much it slides around the exit here. He does seem to be a bit more slidey. He might have rear wing damage.
Yeah, I did see Kimaru rolling a little bit before he returned to track, which kind of tells me that he just did it straight up. Not to get all investigatory about it, though, as Leo and Mateus are currently having a very strong fight, but I think this just plays right into Drew's advantage.
I'm not sure, though. There seemed to have been a tangle up between Drew and AlphaTauri Wolf, as as Drew seems to have dropped 3.6 seconds away from Lenny, and Lenny himself lost a couple tenths in that brawl as well, although that might just be because Mateus is continuing to close into Leo here.
Yeah, I think that more is about Mateus having DRS than anything. Drew will have clean air. Lenny will have clean air as well. Both these guys can, like, just watch their tires. Well, Drew's got to put the hammer down, I think, if he wants to challenge for the win here.
Yeah, Drew needs to heavily push here. So does Lenny now. They now have to push within an undercut.
Yeah, and I think Lenny is putting the hammer down, looking at that gap increasing with Drew. And it's gone down to Mateus.
Drew comes into
Drew's
the
in
pits.
the
I think
pits.
he has damage.
Yeah, we'll
There's
see
no
what
way you stop. There's no way you stop this
do.
early on the hard tires. He must have gotten damage.
We'll see what the Haas crew have got to do here. Yeah, I think they have a wing ready. They do.
Yeah, they do. We'll have to have a closer look at what happened there. I think Kimaru actually got away with that without any damage there, so he'll be safe for now. But he does seem to be struggling to hold off Ties, so Ties might be able to get another point for Williams here.
Indeed. Here comes Leo and Mateus through to the chicane.
Then he has gained 0.3 of them since the last lap here. 0.3 a lap. Is Lenny's tyres starting to come into focus here? Will he be able to leech off to the back of these, or will he even try an undercut early on into this stint?
I think it will be Ferrari potentially looking at the undercut here. If Lenny's like just fine kind of cruising on these tires, I don't see why not extend, get the tire advantage. Lenny is a more than capable overtaker. He can thrive off of a softer compound or a more advantageous compound. Drew down in the P11 after the incident with Kimaru.
Currently stuck behind Bluey and Morgan in another DRS train. He's going to want to hope to get by this as quickly as possible. Is he going to go down the outside or the inside here? He's going to.
Oh, he's going through the inside.
Oh.
Morgan doesn't have the traction to play with, and Bluey is also spending his energy. Drew might have the traction to switch back here, and he does. Bluey on the curb. That's gonna hurt his chance here.
He's gonna go into the pits. Bluey's gonna go into the pits.
Yep, Bluey in the pits. I don't blame him. Get some clean air. Maybe see what you can do with an undercut in the back here. Get those points secured.
Now, the one thing I worry about for Drew is that he's had to put on a fresh set of medium tires, and these medium tires are gonna have to last him 16 laps, which they can very much do, but he's going to really struggle near the end of it, and I think he's not going to get a chance to win this race, but he may still end up coming out ahead, as I imagine Glazzy will not fight him at all in this scenario.
Yeah, I don't see Glazzy fighting.
Yeah, as he gets by relatively easily. I wonder who got DRS here. Oh, and Glazzy gets a penalty for track limits.
Interesting back there. But here they go.
The gap between Lenny and Mateus is now under 2 seconds. He's still slowly eking into that gap.
Yeah, Lenny is just showing a brand new set of pace on these medium tires, like they're just fresher. I wonder if he was saving up a lot of tire after a little bit for this kind of scenario. To be fair, these two have been fighting a lot harder up at the front than Lenny has. As Laz is in the pits.
Look how close Mateus is now. He might make a move. He might make a move on this lap here. He might make that move. He might even gain Lenny extra time here for this as well.
Yeah. Oh,
he does get a warning.
That's a 3-second time penalty. I did see that one. His tires were over the white lines. It was just barely wide coming out of that little tough part. Hardest part of Sector 1 right there. As you go through that hairpin.
Oh, and he's sliding. His rear is sliding all over the place. I imagine his tires are getting cooked right now. He may be heavily struggling with it. But as we saw in qualifying, both Leo and Lenny aren't immune to being given track limit warnings either.
Yeah. Oh no! Avo has lagged out himself. as these two are going through on the traction battle into Sector 3. They are fighting very hard, but Avo has gone into the pits now. He is on fresh hards. Either that or that was his AI putting him on fresh hards. We'll see.
Either way, that's still a pretty good stop.
Yeah, pretty good stop, pretty good
Look
call.
at Lenny there. He's only 1.5 seconds. He's going to get DRS soon.
Indeed he is, and that, like, maybe all of this fighting, all of this really close, really intense fighting, it not has just cost Mateus in terms of a time limit penalty, or a time penalty here, but it's also costing him in terms of position to Lenny. Lenny's just been able to get back into this race. And Leo's had to expend how many resources to hold back Mateus? Both of them combined, they're having a free rider problem towards Lenny. Lenny has now gotten in.
Mateus he's looking for it.
Died.
He was looking for it. I thought he was going to go for it there. I thought it was a very late move, but he's definitely not shying away from the idea of it now.
Mateus wants this. Throwing dummies now. Leo's not going to be spooked by any of that, though.
No, but he may still be forced into a defensive move he does not want to make.
Indeed. Lenny now 1.3 behind and closing. He just took 3 temps out in this sector right now. He's going to be threatening in the DRS zone.
I think he is in the DRS.
He's got it.
DRS. He's joined this fight after having some technical difficulty with his Red Bull. He's got back straight into this fight. And now he's starting to threaten Mateus' chance to victory and Leo's victory as well.
Yep, it would be a statement, especially going into the next season if he continues to win here in France. Take the champion off to another fight of his own. And John's going on to soft tires. We got a couple other cars pitting. Zed has a time penalty right now for track limits. Looking at the other cars pitting, it's Ties and Kimaru. John's pit onto softs with his Red Bull. We got Kimaru on hard tires, and Ties also on hard tires. Interesting to go for hard tires.
Perhaps he wasn't quite confident that he would be able to make the soft tires last. John's gone really risky for that, and I imagine these front runners would definitely continue to try on these.
Yep, Avo has fallen behind a little bit
tires
here with his AI on. That said, going into the pits, I would imagine for possibly,
Oh.
Here, let me get you.
Seems like it's not just immune to the driver. It seems that everyone's getting one now.
Yeah, F123 really wants to send us off as Mateus pits. Mateus is pitting. We'll see for what tire. But our pole man has come in, and he's coming in for softs. And I like the call there. It's an aggressive call, but I like the call. So now this puts Leo and Mercedes into an interesting position, and this also puts Lenny into an interesting position. Do you come in this lap to cover off Mateus, potentially, or do you try to stay out a couple more laps, get a tire advantage eked out? Oh, Lenny's going for the inside! He's not going to even answer that question right now. Leo just out of resources. Lenny had DRS, Lenny had ERS. He had been saving up for this moment for quite a while, and Lenny is through into the lead of the French Grand Prix. Mateus on soft tires and is getting into the pit delta right now. These two on the potential in lap. Fighting hard. Leo is close. He's gonna keep it within half a second. These guys, they don't let up when they're in a fight. They really don't. As here they come. I'm seeing a McLaren back there. That is Zed being lapped. And that's both Leo and Lenny in the pits. Both dragons into the pits. Former championship rivals are now going to have a fight on their hands as they go through their pit crews. They're going on the soft tires. Lenny has gone on the soft tires. Leo is in right now. Both pit crews give them a good stop. But Lenny retains the lead in the pits over Leo. Mateus getting very squirrely on the cold tires. Will he have the undercut, though? It'll be very close as they exit the pits, but Mateus is through, and Mateus once again leads the French Grand Prix with a purple Sector 3, and he is 2 seconds clear of Lenny.
Who himself is 1.5 seconds ahead of Leo from that pit stop alone. Now, can Mateus try to get a gap here? There's no more fighting. This will be purely on pace, so who has the fastest car?
Yeah, Mateus with purple Sector 1 here. He showed that he has a lot of pace. He is even eking out a gap. Lenny and Leo are only going to have 1 lap of advantage on these soft tires. That can still play a factor. That can still play a role, as Drew is actually 7 seconds behind Leo here as well. Mateus, if he wants to be sure of a victory, needs to eke out to 3 seconds.
Which he has done right now. He is currently just over 3 seconds ahead of Lenny, which I want to know, is he expending his resources to do so? Is he heavily trying to keep that gap open? Because at the moment he is net in the net lead, but it's close. It is really close.
Yeah, 3 seconds is going to be key for him, assuming nothing gets overturned.
You've got to expect that both Lenny and Leo are going to start really sending in the laps now. Now their tyres are up to temperature. They've had a lap to get used to these softs.
Mateus sets the fastest lap, but we'll see if any of them can fight back now on the next lap. As we are going to cruise in with about 10 to go in the French Grand Prix. Driver is going to be fighting hard as they can.
We get another one!
Oh no! Mateus was pushing hard, maybe too hard. Mateus now 6 seconds of time penalties over his head. And I think that's his chance at victory in the French Grand Prix gone.
Yeah, I think now he's just got to try to consolidate and try to get at least a podium. He's not actually sat on the podium yet this season, or actually in his career. He'll be the first Brazilian to get a podium in FRL, and he'll be the first Ferrari to get a podium since Storm way back in Season 1.
I would have sworn he had a podium earlier in the year.
I don't believe he did. I'll go check up the statistics on that.
Yeah, go double check the statistics here as we see Mateus now rounding through our favorite double right-hander. None of these cars are currently close enough to make any moves yet. The pit stops doing their thing, shuffling these cars around. Glassie is gonna maybe have to stop again. 14-lap-old hards. He would be 24 laps out of 27 if he went the whole way on those hard tires, which he very well might try.
I did have another look. It looks like Mateus has not actually got a podium yet in his career here in FRL. He's gotten a lot of 4th places. He's gotten 4 4th places.
Yeah, he's one of those drivers that's consistently challenged for the podium, has consistently punched up to the podium, but never quite been able to make it stick. Just a couple inconsistencies here, couple track limit warnings there, couple penalties, and Glassie's in the pits. Deciding to pit off with those hard tires early.
Maybe he's gonna go for a soft stint to capitalize on it. He does get a front wing change as well, so maybe there was a bit of a scrap there we didn't notice.
Yeah,
Speaking of scraps, though, here comes Leo and Lenny. Leo is right in the back now. He has gotten DRS on Lenny. He is caught up. This will be the fight now to watch. This will be the fight for first on the first after Mateus' penalties.
Yep. It is going to be a pretty good fight. I think both of these guys are going to be smart enough to know that if they... Oh, Glassie with a penalty. But both of these guys are going to be smart enough to know that if they fight too hard, they do risk giving Mateus the win here. They're going to be conscious of the 6 seconds. They can see it on their screens. They're going to know exactly what their gap is, exactly what they need to keep it in. As here comes Leo with DRS.
I don't think he'll be able to do it now, but perhaps he'll just let Lenny try to claw his way into Mateus before making a move himself. Remember, Mateus can still maybe play a massive role in this. If he can get between Leo and Lenny, that can make a massive hiccup for one of them trying to overtake the other.
Indeed. Though, that does come with the additional risk that if you do let Lenny into Mateus's DRS, you let Lenny get a strong defensive boost from it. Your DRS is no longer an advantage, as Leo could maybe look at making something happen. No.
Oh no, he's having a look at it, but he decided against it this time. I think not wanting to throw his cards out yet. There's still 7 laps to go. There's still 7 more chances to overtake. Really 14 if you really think about all the amount of time you can overtake here.
Yep,
and maybe even more, as they seem to go side by side
Ooh.
down the right-hander.
Oh, Leo with the inside here on the double right-hander. There's some wheel banging. Lenny going for the switchback, but he has to pull out. And now they're going to be on the inside. Now they're taking back the normal racing line. Leo is through into second place right now.
Lenny is right there, right behind. I can expect him to want to get this position back. He's not gonna say to Leo, "Here, you can have this position." He's gonna say, "No, that's my position. You're going to have to take it from my destroyed car if you're going to want to take this position." And that's exactly what he's doing. As he's
Leo going defensive.
The outside.
Yeah, he's free. Just had ERS and DRS. Almost makes it look like
they are side by side. I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't even think about it there.
Yeah, no, this is very much like technical sections. Very much just about staying within and setting up for this down here. Lenny went really wide on that exit.
We'll see if that'll compromise his speed down the back straight. Leo with DRS.
Yeah, Leo is going to be able to make a move. Leo's through now. And they're going to be trading positions. Little bit of a I pass, you pass going on with these two. If this were IndyCar, I might say they're trying to swap draft each other. But this is unfortunately not an IndyCar oval. Or I guess fortunately for these drivers.
I can imagine there'd be a lot more incidents if this was an IndyCar oval.
Oh yeah, no, we wouldn't even be able to get past lap 5. Without, like, 20 safety cars.
I think the safety cars just need to be permanently out.
Yeah.
Closing up into the back onto the last corner, getting DRS. He's a bit further behind this time. I don't think he's going to make the move work here. Leo's really trying to put on the thrusters here to get away from Lenny as much as he can. See if he can break the DRS or catch up to Mateus.
Yeah, and either of those scenarios are going to work really well into Leo's favor. This is still for the win. 6 seconds hanging over Mateus. Up and down the grid, this is really the only fight going on here. And Mateus is just ever so quickly falling behind. He only has about 5 laps.
It's 5 laps, it's 2.3 seconds. I mean, I think at this point he has given up on this victory. I think what he needs to do, he just needs to consolidate the 3rd place. It'll be his first podium. He can celebrate that at the end of the season. His pole as well. It may not be the win, but with these two driving as well as they are, and as aggressively as they are,
consistently,
it would be hard anyway to keep that position.
Yeah, but the only thing that probably really gives it to him at this point now, at this stage of the race, is if these two get into a little bit of a bang-up, which they have gotten into bang-ups before.
They would. I think the last one was actually at Australia. After the chicane. Little bump together and almost giving Drew the win.
Almost, but not quite. So here they go now down the start-finish straight. Leo using a little bit less curb than Lenny there.
Lenny's trying to push everything he can to get close to Leo.
Ooh.
I mean, he doesn't want to be too far behind, because you do lose a lot of time following another car going into the 3, 4, 5, 6 section. There's about 2 to 3, even 4 tenths lost to dirty air here if you aren't careful.
Alright. Half a second now separates these two. Leo doing exactly what he needs to at present. Lenny having a look. Throwing a little dummy to the inside, but Leo's not spooked. Not spooked so easily.
He might make a move here, though. We've seen a lot of moves from in the second half of this back straight down this flat-out right-hander. He is exceptionally close. He decides just to hold off again.
Yeah, getting a move here is just all about traction. There's not really a traction advantage I can see for either one of them right now.
The slipstream into it is also going to be a huge factor, as the gap between Leo and Mateus is down to 1.8, 1.7. I think Lenny's going to be on the timer here to try to get past Leo as quickly
but we are seeing a fight between Ties and Morgan. They're side by side through the chicane. Morgan fighting very hard against Ties right now. Morgan on 2-lap older hards. They are right there, nose to tail as well. The Williams, though, is going to be ahead, at least for now. The Dutch Martin looking to the inside as they go through the double right-hander.
Ty takes a really wide line. He takes a lot of curb. Is that going to impact his traction? It is, but it's not going to be enough. Morgan's going to try to cut back here, try to stick behind and make the move on the front straight, in fact.
Yep, here they go. They're fighting really hard right now.
Oh, and it's like Lenny's going past Leo.
And Leo are fighting. They're side by side right through that chicane as well. We were just looking at it. Lenny is through, though, and there was a little bit of wheel banging, and they're side by side in the pack here again.
Oof,
Morgan's gone very wide.
I think that's off the track. I think she's going to have to give that position back.
Yeah, Morgan has to give that position back.
Granted, I think Ty's going to take it back here on the back straight. He's going to have DRS. He's going to be more than close enough to make it stick. I don't think he's going to have any issues getting his position back.
Yeah. No, Morgan fighting it would be a little bit. We'll have to see.
Yeah, Ty's does get the position back.
Yeah. Ty's does get it back eventually.
He's only 1.1 away from Mateus. He's gunning for him now. He's gunning for it. He's launched away from Leo. He said he's gone. He's just gone now. He's almost at the back of him. He's going to get DRS here. He's pushing as hard as he can to get DRS. He's within DRS.
Yep, he is. So this is now going to be an interesting 3-way bit of track position as Mateus gets another
one for Mateus. Oh.
That's not going to really affect him too much. Drew is too far back and has a penalty of his own, so that gap needs to be like 12 seconds.
Yeah, it still would be. It's still.
Zed also has a penalty. Penalties starting to now.
Like even if you're not fighting anyone, the penalty is going to spook you. It's going to drop away your confidence. You're going to start really starting to be a bit more shaky.
Yeah, Morgan to the inside, but not quite able to make the move.
I think Lenny's going to make a move round the outside of the double right-hander. He tries to go all the way round. He's going to get the better traction on the exit. Is he going to be? He's going to try to go around the outside again. It's not enough though, and all this is doing is putting Leo back into the fight. Leo's now caught up with Mateus. He's now in this as well.
I mean, if I'm Lenny here, like I'm not gonna like expend all of my resources to get past Mateus here. You need that to defend against the other dragon behind you. It's Morgan and gotten past Ties into that chicane. Got around
Lenny down the outside on the DRS straight.
Yep, Lenny through. Lenny's through.
Now, I would like to see Lenny try to hold
Oh,
Mateus. Oh, but no,
Mateus.
Leo makes the move straight away.
Yeah, Mateus went very defensive. I think he just wants to hold DRS. He doesn't want to lose time. He almost let Leo have that position. But, I mean, I understand the strategy there. You don't want to lose time when you have 9 seconds of penalty.
That is very true. Perhaps he just
You don't want
wanted...
to risk a crash.
Perhaps he got his popcorn out, ready to see the rest of the show here. He's got the best seat in the house, really.
Indeed. Reminds me of Abu Dhabi 2010 when Barrichello was talking about one of the best overtakings of my life. Was his exact words. And we have another Brazilian now watching another epic fight in the last race of a season. As here we go, we are crossing Sector 3 for the penultimate time. Leo essentially has one move to make for the win.
He has one chance, maybe two, if he can get close enough here, but he will have one chance to make this stick. Both of them probably expending most of their battery now. Will Leo be able to make it?
There's also a Williams going to be in this picture, maybe a little bit, as Lenny begins the final lap of the French Grand Prix with the lead right now. Zed's gotten a ignoring blue flags penalty, which is interesting. They're not really in any kind of position, though. It's a disappointing last race for them. Mateus is out of the DRS, so these two are just going to fight. That's Bluey in front of him.
Gets a bit of a stone. Does Lenny get DRS, though, off of Bluey? He does not. Bluey gets out the way for both of them.
Yeah, Leo is going to be about 4-3 tenths now behind. Oh, Leo's going to look to the inside, but not quite able to send it yet here.
But can he send it down the second part of the straight? He's a bit further behind than what you'd really like to be in this scenario.
Yeah, Lenny has the advantage here.
It's the Red Bull last minute.
Both drivers now
out of ERS.
They've used up everything. I think Leo has to concede it here, as Lenny is now for the final time rounding out Sector 3 with his left-hander. It's a very fast part of Sector 3. These two are going to be just trying to make sure that they don't crash now, as the Williams is going to finish back there too. But here comes Lenny to go around, cross the line. Lenny wins the French Grand Prix. Leo comes in second, and Mateus gets his first podium.
That's still a great showing from him, though. His first pole onto his first podium. Although he may have had the penalties, he definitely showed that he does have the pace, and if he can hold this on to next season, he's going to be a massive thorn in the side.
Yep. One of his only times finishing off the podium. Here comes Drew. Zed's gotten another... Oh my god, Zed's just having the penalties add on, but Drew comes fourth. One of his only times off the podium.
Tyes and Morgana have been fighting so hard. I think Glazzy's in this fight now.
Ooh, yes, Glazzy is.
Can Glazzy make a move on the end? He has these soft tires. These soft tires are gonna be almost shredded, and I don't think Tyes is gonna have DRS. Will Glazzy be able to make it down the run on the line?
Oh, we'll see. Glazzy's out of DRS. No, or he's out of ERS. So no.
No, it was a good showing.
Oh wait, Tyes gets past Morgan from a time penalty.
On the time penalties, yeah. Let me see Zed doing donuts.
Yeah, we will probably see Zed doing goodbye. Yeah, we do see Zed doing the goodbye donuts. They always like to do some donuts whenever they come last. Never change, but...
This is their last race as well.
And the 5-second time penalty for an unserved penalty, just to add it on. I think they were going for a record. Most penalties. Good luck across the pond, Zed.
Yeah. Let's hope. Come back as the champion for us all.
Yeah. Here comes Lenny on the top step. Strong race. Drew had a really strong race. We didn't cover him as much past the beginning, but he came from 11th to P4. The game assigned him driver of the day, and I think that's a pretty apt description there. Mateus with his, I think it's his first fastest lap point of the year to accompany that first podium.
I do think Mateus was really, though, today's driver of the day. His first pole, he kept that up the entirety of the first stint, and he stayed out of trouble. He got himself his first podium. What a way to round off the season, and he gets fastest lap point as well. I don't think that's enough. Is that enough for McLaren? I think Morgan's 9th place is going to seal McLaren's 5th spot over Ferrari.
Yeah. He did very well, though, to fight hard, considering it was a 2-on-1 battle for most of the season. But that was a very strong fight. Just gonna scroll through the race director just to make sure that we document it. Lot of track limit warnings today. It's like, as we got towards the end, the drivers really started piling on their track limits.
Yeah, as the tires start to go, you start to really struggle to keep it within the lines here as you try to eke out basically as much of the track as you can.
Yes, but Lenny won a good, hard-fought race. Leo kept it hard the entire time as well. And that is FRL Season 4. We're going to go into the off-season now. Off-season will take quite a bit. Probably a good chunk the remaining summer.
Gotta give all the drivers enough time to recharge after a pretty intense season.
Recuperate. Gotta give it all to the end there.
And you can't forget the new regs coming in next season as well. A completely different handling overhaul as well, and a different DRS system.
Oh yeah, it'll be assuming we switch over, it'll be coming in on lap 2, not lap 3, which is very interesting. But anyway, I have been Nexi. I've been joined by Sierra and Pridas here. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you for the next season. I do want to remain on as commentator, because I had a lot of fun. Thank you all for letting me commentate. Thank you all for watching the commentaries, either live or in the VODs. It is all very appreciated. Well, take care, and goodbye.